Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters. We are a collection of the finest farmers, food producers, and chefs on the planet. We are a merging of cultures and ideas shaped by this land. We are a gathering of the waters, and together, we shape a new identity to carry us into the future. We are storytellers. We are Wisconsin Foodie. People who know brats say that a brat is only as good as the hard roll that it's served on. Today, we're going to visit two of Sheboygan's historic bakeries, the City Bakery and the Westside Bakery, to see how these hard rolls stack up. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Luke.
Hey, I'm Rick.
Nice to meet you, Rick.
Yeah, you too.
Man, City Bakery, it's on the tip of everyone's tongues, and I can't wait to get to work.
Well, if you want to help out, you're more than welcome. You just have to
Hand it up. Oh, yeah.
up.
Nice. Can't wait. Rick, I want to ask you some questions about this oven, and I can't say I've ever seen one quite like it.
Yeah, I've never actually seen one anywhere. I mean, years back there was probably several of them, but I don't believe that the Peterson Oven Company is in business anymore.
How much of the identity of the bakery and the baked goods are associated specifically with this oven?
Well, I think it's a very large part of it, very large part of our bread and hard roll. You know, reputation is based around hearth baking in this oven.
How long have you owned City Bakery?
Over 31 years now. And I worked here before that. I started working here in 1982. Probably since I was been about 17 or so. I worked in a bakery as a cleaning person and took a lot of interest in it. And the baker, you know, he showed me things, and that's pretty much how it all started. Did you want to try to slide one in?
I would love to. I'm a little intimidated. I don't mind telling you that. That feels amazing. There, I mean, like, honestly, there's a pliability to it.
Yeah.
But if you notice the bread in my hands, it's not actually seeping through, right?
Yeah.
And it's springy. You can literally feel it bouncing.
Then you can dock it.
You can dock it, okay?
Yeah.
And do you dock it across?
I put 5 cuts on it.
5 cuts.
Yeah.
Is that your
Well,
signature?
it's 5 cuts for a 1.5 pound loaf and 4 cuts for a 1 pound loaf.
That's really smart. So 5 cuts.
Yeah.
Why is scoring bread important?
Otherwise, when you put it in and all that rapid expansion of gases, it has to have somewhere to escape. Otherwise, it'll split the loaf open. And you should get up.
And I'm going over there?
On the far end, yep. Just try to get, you know, within a couple inches of the mother loaves and without hitting them. And then just give it a little. Come off good?
I think I got it.
All right.
Oh, that's super satisfying.
You perfected my job in a couple minutes. You get muscle memory after a while for doing things.
But getting that slide just right is definitely a skill.
You know, that's a lot of reasons for the cornmeal on the bottom,
Sure.
so it slides off of the peel.
How many loaves do you have on the deck right now?
Probably about 30 or so, or 40.
30 or
right?
40?
Yeah. And you do have to kind of work with a fair amount of speed, especially if you have a full oven, so that by the time we get these all in, some of them on the other side might be getting close to ready.
That's one of the best smells in the entire world. Just the richness.
Yeah.
Do you ever get sick of that smell?
No, I love the smell of bread.
I don't know if people can hear this, but right now,
Crackling?
it's crackling.
Yeah.
It sounds a little bit like Rice Krispies.
I think it's actually just the shrinking of the hard outer crust.
Okay.
That's the sound that you hear.
Sure.
So,
Do these Italian loaves go out in the front case?
yeah.
How much of the retail store, like what percentage is that of your sales?
I would say probably about 75%.
Yeah.
We tend to focus, I think, on retail more. Now we're going to scale the flour. This is just salt, sugar, diacetic malt,
Okay.
which is, you know, basically a lot of sugar to it.
Yeah.
Lard, and then then yeast, and the rest is just a sponge. Pretty sticky.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of understand the science behind yeast bread, production. It's important to understand, what different functions of the fermentation process and the age of the dough, which can vary, according to weather and shop conditions.
Yes.
That's it. Now just everything gets mixed to development. And
how much of this part of the process separates your hard rolls from, the other bakeries in the city?
Well, we're the only ones that do a sponge and dough technique. I know that.
So this is more of an old world process.
Definitely.
With the fermented dough.
Yeah.
How many hard rolls do you think you can fit in this thing at one time?
I'd say 200, probably 300 dozen.
300 dozen.
Yeah. We'll mix them up and we're ready to go with hard rolls.
That sounds great.
You want to get your hands into the dough?
I do.
You can. These go 5 by 7 on the board.
Okay.
Try to space them as evenly as possible. That way they won't stick together. There you go. Just like that.
3. Is this 8? Did I accidentally slip 8 on there? I did.
Oh, yep. There you go.
Take it up.
All right, let's do this.
See what happens when you turn your back on it? Quality control just falls apart. All right, so when we get close here to him falling off, I'm out of board space.
Yep. Not allowed to shut the machine off on this guy.
Is that truly a rule? You can't shut the machine down?
No.
No?
No.
I have no idea how many of these I've done so far. Maybe that's part of the trick, you just don't count. You just do,
Let's get out of Rick's hair for a little bit and make our way across town to meet with the Sheboygan baking legend Fuzzy at his Westside Bakery and learn how his hard rolls are just a little bit different.
Good morning or afternoon, whatever it is.
I'm Luke. You must be Fuzzy?
Yes, I am.
Nice.
Yeah.
You are just as colorful as I think everyone says you are.
Yeah.
I mean, this sweatshirt is great.
Yeah.
Look at this. You got all of Wisconsin represented on there. Nice.
Even Sheboygan.
Even Sheboygan. How do you eat your bratwurst? I think that, it's...
How do you eat them?
Well, with your mouth, usually, right? But, what do you put on them?
Yeah, I like to buy brat patties.
Brat patties?
Yeah, I like the brat patties. Put them on a hard roll, but with butter, and then you put pickles and onions, and you put that all on there, and then with a little cheese.
Oh, nice. What cheese do you put on there?
Munster cheese.
Munster cheese.
Yeah.
That is the most Wisconsin answer I've ever heard. That's beautiful. So Munster cheese, butter, pickles, onions, no mustard?
Oh yeah, some Grey Poupon.
Grey Poupon, you like the Dijon.
Yeah. And then we fry them up, and then I put in each one in a bag. And when I want a nice brat sandwich, I pull it out, put it in the microwave, and
here it is.
And away I go.
How often do you eat a brat sandwich?
At least 4 times a week. And I don't do it because of the brat, I do it because of the hard roll.
City Bakery does a hard roll.
Yeah.
You do a hard roll.
Yeah.
What am I going to notice that's different?
We roll our stuff in a cornmeal, and that gives it a little bit of crust. Years ago, we used to have an oven like they have at City Bakery.
But you switched to this...
1977, I think.
1977?
Yeah, that's when I realized that baking in the old hearth oven, I would either overwork myself and I never would make any money. And this was very efficient. And then the new rack ovens are even more efficient. And when we're really producing 4 racks an hour, which is 240 dozen.
240 dozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not messing around, is it?
No. I will be honest with you. If you get his hard rolls fresh, they're better than mine.
Really?
Right.
You just admitted that on camera.
Yes. But I understand that his hard rolls only last a day at the most.
Sure.
Where mine will last 3-4 days.
Nice. So you're playing the long game on that one.
I'm playing the long game because, see, he could never take on the wholesale accounts that I do because you can't bake fast enough. When he bakes 1 oven of rolls, we bake 3 ovens.
I mean, it's smart. And I think even now, to do a standalone bakery,
yeah.
right? there are so many people that have this idea and this dream, like, oh, I'm gonna be a baker, I'm gonna be a pastry chef. Maybe they see it on food TV. And not that there's anything wrong with that, but the real money in bakery is in wholesale.
Yes.
You gotta have those accounts to support it.
Yes, it is. I mean, we do a good store, and we still do a good store business. I have loyal customers that came in when I first started it. Of course, they're old like me now, but they still come in here because they like the stuff we make. And we make all our bakery, we make it fresh. We don't buy frozen stuff.
Are you still doing the baking here?
No, I don't do any baking no more.
Not even at home?
No, I don't do it. Why would I want to? When I do come here and get, I get free hard rolls and free breads and everything,
Yeah.
I don't know if my son hears that. He doesn't like it that I don't pay for it.
Well, your face is on the bag. There should be some a royalty somewhere in there.
Yeah.
At what point did you decide to start putting your face on the bags?
Well, it was my first wife's idea.
Okay.
Yeah, she says, everybody comes in the store, can you meet Fuzzy the Baker? She took a picture of me and she surprised me. When I ordered hard roll bags, they came with my picture on. I didn't even know it was happening.
How did you get the nickname Fuzzy?
I don't know. I was just a little kid. Even now, I only have fuzzy hair there.
If you would, tell me the story about how you got into baking.
Well, when I got out of grade school, they held me back a year because they said I was a little slow. I started at 15, and then when I turned 16, then I went full-time, and I did all the stuff that needed to be done. I would even go in during the morning, not getting paid. I would go where the cake baker was working, and I would just watch him and help, and just to learn it. Mm-hmm. That if I knew someday I was going to go on my own business, I wanted to learn it, and that I wouldn't have to have somebody else do it. I lived at home. I paid my mom and pa rent. I stayed away from buying a car because cars keep you broke. And when I was 25 and got married to my first wife, who was from Hilbert, I had $25,000 in the bank, 1965, which is a lot of money back then.
So you bought this space?
I bought this, but when we first opened up, I did everything. I did all the cleaning, I did the delivering, I did everything. And the first year, after we paid all the bills and everything, we worked for 50 cents an hour back then. I said, it'll get better. And every year it got better and it got better and got better.
Sure. What's the next chapter of the Westside Bakery?
Well, that you have to ask my kid. I hope he keeps it going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason's going to take this over. He's going to take it into the next era.
Next era, yeah.
Are you there to kind of guide him through it, or is it his
No,
project?
he hasn't asked me many questions. So if he wants to ask me things how I did it, then I would be glad to answer them. Because I don't know about this, but I'm going to tell you anyhow.
Good.
Back then, I don't know how many years ago that was, I was voted one of the master bakers in the state of Wisconsin. And there was only 2 of us.
Wow.
Well, it means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And especially that I lasted this long. And I survived because I modernized.
Sure. Fuzzy, I really appreciate you taking the time to, kind of walk me through this place and give me a little bit of a glimpse into your life.
We've loaded up on hard rolls from the Westside Bakery, but we're not done yet. We know that we're going to have to put these to the test, but first, we need to head back to the City Bakery to crease and bake the hard rolls with Rick and his staff.
The creasing board comes from the wood from these paddles. Some of those are actually handmade by Rick himself out of basswood, which allows for curvature, flexibility, but also is relatively heat resistant. So as you're coming in and out of that oven and the deck is somewhere in that 600 to 700 degree range, you're not gonna start your paddle on fire.
It takes a little more work to do this. That's an important part of it.
The corn mealing and flipping?
Yep.
Why is the flip important?
Well, once again, every time your hand will do it, adds a little bit of age to the dough. Plus you'll get cornmeal on both sides, and then when you bake them, we'll turn them over like this onto the peel.
Doesn't the story go that Fuzzy over at Westside, He worked here, right?
Yeah, I would say it was probably in the 60s
Okay.
that he worked here. I never actually worked, alongside Fuzzy, but he's been in business a long time, and
Yeah.
so he obviously knows what he's doing.
He's kind of legendary, would you say?
Yeah, the name Fuzzy,
Yeah.
in Sheboygan, everyone kind of knows Fuzzy the Baker, that name.
It would stand to reason that he, knew the method
Yeah.
that was here,
Yeah.
right?
If he remembers.
If he remembers.
Yeah, I think he probably started making hard rolls this way. As he started buying different equipment, he started,
Changing his methods.
Yeah. So you want to give it a try?
Oh, I do.
Same angle right next to the other one.
All right.
There you go.
Too close? Good. It's okay? Having him touch just a little bit won't hurt it?
No.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I've never done anything like this. Never, ever. The only word that I can use to describe this is artisan. Loading these rolls onto a wooden board and placing them strategically on the deck of a hearth oven means that this isn't necessarily mass produced. This is something that's made with love and care and tradition. This is most certainly Sheboygan. This is most certainly Wisconsin. The first thing that I immediately notice is this isn't your average soft roll. This isn't a hamburger bun. The inside, it's still hot. And really that crunch on the outside, that's symbolic of a good bread. You've got a crust. I can only imagine what this must taste like with the double brat. Hey Rick, I can see you guys aren't slowing down at all. So I'm gonna let you get at what you do, but thank you so much for taking the time to show me your craft.
I'm glad to do it. Glad to do it.
Can I pick up a bag of hard rolls on the way out?
Absolutely. We'll get you set up with that.
Can I keep the hat too?
Oh yeah.
All right.
That's
Great.
all yours.
Thanks a lot, brother. Have a good day. We just left Sheboygan and we're back on the road and we're hungry. We decided that we needed to settle a debate for ourselves as to which way to properly consume a Sheboygan bratwurst. Fuzzy the Baker at the Westside Bakery had strong opinions about his brat patty, but the people at City Bakery and Miesfeld agreed that the city hard roll with the double brat was the way to go. Tonight, we're gonna settle this for ourselves. First and foremost, we are going to turn on the skillet to a medium-low heat. We want that to stay nice and low so that we don't split the skins, or in the case of the brat patty, dry it out while we're cooking it. For these, I'm not gonna use any oil. And the idea behind that is I want these to get a nice sear, and they should be really, really juicy. So we want them to basically cook and baste in their own juices. I think it's fair to say that our first choice for cooking brats is always to put them on a grill outside. But sometimes when you're on the road, you gotta make do with what you got. And we're doing that right now. So we're 5 minutes in now on the cook time for the brats, and I'm gonna give them a flip. And we can hear them kind of starting to come alive. Now that we've turned these over once, I want to put the brat patties on. And to be fair, I've never actually cooked a brat patty before, but I'm intrigued. I know that we want these to cook all the way through, and so I think I want to get them on that griddle sooner than later. What we have to do now is we need to cut up this Munster cheese to get it on that brat patty. I feel like I need to be as authentic to Fuzzy's vision of the Sheboygan bratwurst as I can be. Because I came from the culture of waste not, want not, we're gonna actually use the fat from the bratwurst to toast those buns. So we get a little bit of that salt and some of those spices permeating in. We've got the brat patty with the Munster cheese. We're gonna place that on top of the buns. Then we're gonna take some of these half moons of onions that we've thinly sliced, and we're gonna lay those on top of that Munster cheese. We'll garnish that with the bread and butter pickles, and then finally, the Dijon mustard. So being that this is my first time having a brat with 1, pickles on it, 2, Munster cheese, and 3, in a patty form, I gotta say this is pretty good. This is like a reinvention on an old classic. The thing I really like about this is the crispiness of that hard roll. Like on the bottom where we seared that thing, it's got a really nice, pleasing crunch. Next, and certainly not least, we have to try the Sheboygan brat. This, when polling residents of Sheboygan, was the most popular choice of bratwurst and was the predetermined way to eat it. The double brat, mustard, onion, straight up. Let's give it a shot. That's so classic. When I think of a brat, my mental perception is one that conjures up images of tailgating or being outside or summertime. And this takes me there. The bratwurst is delicious, the mustard is great, and that hard roll really, really takes the cake. So in the end, I think that there's probably a million different ways that we can prepare brats here. And to be fair, I'm not sure I wouldn't like any of them.
This is the dough for the Fleischbrot.
And what's Fleischbrot?
It's meat, cabbage, onions, salt and pepper, and it's fried and then it's stuffed in the middle of dough and then proofed and baked. So we make them once a week, every Wednesday.
Oh man. It tastes like something that my grandma would have made. It's rich, it's hearty, it's soft, it's delicate. And I think we're probably gonna have to do a whole nother episode just on this.
Wisconsin Foodie would like to thank the following underwriters.
Introducing Organic Valley Ultra. Milk with more protein, half the sugar, and no toxic pesticides.
Let's be honest, none of that healthy stuff really matters unless our kids will drink it.
Yeah, I would drink that.
You hear that? She would drink that!
Parrots are weird.
More protein, half the sugar. Organic Valley Ultra.
The dairy farmers of Wisconsin are proud to underwrite Wisconsin Foodie and remind you that in Wisconsin, we dream in cheese. Just look for our badge. It's on everything we make.
Employee-owned New Glarus Brewing Company has been brewing and bottling beer for their friends only in Wisconsin since 1993. Just a short drive from Madison, come visit Swissconsin and see where your beer's made.
Wisconsin's great outdoors has something for everyone. Come for the adventure, stay for the memories. Go wild in Wisconsin. To build your adventure, visit dnr.wi.gov.
From production to processing, right down to our plates, there are over 15,000 employers in Wisconsin with career opportunities to fulfill your dreams and feed the world. Hungry for more? Shape your career with these companies and others at fabwisconsin.com. Specialty crop craft beverages use fruit grown on Wisconsin orchards and vineyards to create award-winning ciders and wines. Wisconsin's cold climate creates characteristics and complexities that make this craft beverage unique to our state. Society Insurance. Freshwater Family Farms. J. Henry & Sons Bourbon. Something special from Wisconsin. Marcus Hotels and Resorts. Central Wisconsin Craft Collective. 91.7 WMSE. Edible Milwaukee Magazine. Also with the support of the Friends of PBS Wisconsin. For more information about upcoming Wisconsin Foodie special events and dinners, please go to wisconsinfoodie.com. Still hungry for more? Get connected on Facebook and Instagram, and also make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you'll find past episodes and special segments.